I just asked if that's the only kind of work you do, isn't it? To benefit the planet and its inhabitants and the universe, really.
Um, what I did was I went out to California, but I can't quite talk about what I did and where I went. But definitely, I knew I was supposed to go out there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do some clearing and identify where some of the problems are coming from.
Mm.
I know they like to target California a lot. And there are many beings that would like to see the destruction of California because there's a lot of good people over there.
Well, there's a lot of negative dark beings there too.
There's a handful of dark beings. There's a large amount of good beings.
Right.
I only say that because they were sort of ahead of their time. They were evolving. They were awakening to their realization of their inner truths and their consciousness, and they kind of were ahead of everyone on that. And everyone says the coasts, have, like, the East Coast has higher learning.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of education. There's Harvard, there's MIT, there's extremely advanced stuff. The East Coast, unfortunately, I reside here, I came from here, has gone very AI. And I'm not saying California is not AI too,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gone very AI because of MIT and the need to outdo each other. It's sort of this Elon Musk type of mentality. We have to be the first and the best, and even Trump says that about the 5G. Well, the best is not necessarily the best for us, and they haven't quite figured that out yet, and I don't know why. And so,
but you got Hollywood and California, and
yeah. And so the Codex Giga demon showed up. That's who showed up. Codex Giga, Giga demon, which is a very ancient book, or they call it the devil, whatever. But whoever deals with this book, it came from the Czech Republic, and that energy came into California.
Oh.
Or it was already there. I mean, I know the Baphomet's been there. Definitely had, start looking at stuff and that thing show up. But this is, I mean, there's more than one. Everyone's like, well, there's one devil, there's one God, there's one this and that. And, well, they simplified it to not, just get people to pretty much come to an agreement and consider that we were, keep it simple because humans can't think outside the box. But, technically, there's all different types of species, there's all different types of creatures, there's all different, there's more than one devil, there's more than one angel. Can't blame Lucifer for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, people. We're not children anymore. We need to start looking at the possibilities that, everything that they've been teaching this to us. And, so many people refer back to the writings of those that have been trying to manipulate us for years. Since the inception of humanity, we've received more bullshit. It would have been better off had we been stranded on some island somewhere and not been exposed to any of all of this. And we would have, innately have known certain things. And instead, we got corrupted by some very bizarre thinking.
Well, supposedly all the answers to our, information and our past lives and all of that is stored in our hearts. So if we learn to access that information, which I am pretty sure is possible, we can find everything out we need to know right there.
Yeah, and all of this is possible right now. So if you do your inner work, your inner work will help you to just release a lot of the teachings of stuff that doesn't really matter or affect us, or that perpetuates anything. It just keeps going and going and going, where we find I have found so many belief systems that I have let go of. It's been more work to get rid of all the stuff that wasn't true
Right. But I'm
than
glad.
to even learn it in the first place, because I think it is kind of built upon, like, even in the soul memory, they kind of inserted some of those belief systems there as well.
Hmm.
And so, now it's like building upon what other foundations were already there, laid down maybe thousands of years ago in our soul journey, and we still have these belief systems. And some people would probably disagree with me and say, "Oh no, you're completely wrong. As soon as you die, all of that gets wiped out, and then you come back." Yeah, well, theoretically, we come in not fully remembering everything, but that doesn't get rid of our soul history.
It's still there. We just
It's
don't
still
remember.
there.
Hmm.
In all of the teachings, everything we've experienced, all the memories of everything, it's still there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seeing it when I'm doing Akashic readings with people. So they do a temporary wipe, and sometimes they fracture the memories. They can do that if the soul gets fractured.
Right.
There's like the missing pieces. But I could tell, I think that if I were in that situation, I would ask to gather my soul pieces and kind of do a reset of my soul and have it restored.
Well,
We don't have to be in this.
the sessions that we do, I have me bringing together aspects of my soul that have been, broken apart or separate. You know what I mean? I'm finding all these connections to these different civilizations and times and history, of my soul that I've experienced. That just this soul has experienced all these different incarnations in Atlantis and Lemuria and Agartha and possibly the angelic realm. I mean, is that part of what we've done, you and I?
Yeah, what's really interesting about this, Jimmy?
Jiminy.
I almost called you Jiminy Cricket. Uh,
That might have been one of mine too.
um, I think by being in all of these civilizations, so it's not so much that we get fractured, but it's the trauma of being associated with some of these great catastrophic events that happened with these civilizations. Imagine if some kind of creature shows up, as they use as a military force against us, like they did in Lyra, as we mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
where Lyra had a mass launch against with these grasshopper,
Yeah,
locusts. I mean, they were like life size, or human size,
yeah, that's sick.
and that, of course, we were like a food source because they starved them on the ship, and then
Right,
they launched them out. If something like that happened to us, so imagine the trauma and then the fear that would be in the soul and stored
right,
in that manner, right?
right,
So that happened. Then with the Lemurians, it was these man rays that came in, the black ones. So they call them the black ray gorgons,
organs.
and they came in, completely covered the sky. Sky turns black. They don't know what's going on. Now they have no light source, and these things start to attack as well. So, I mean, these are traumas, right? So
Right,
imagine the U.S. or, the world, all the continents of humanity suddenly gets pounced upon by some, strange creature that comes in, and, whether it's the tall whites, whether it's the Dracos, whom, some people have actually told me they've had dreams of the Dracos coming, after like the fires were happening in California. It was supposed to accelerate and, continue to burn and create chaos in California, and then the Dracos were going to come above ground, or
Mm-hmm.
even through some kind of apocalyptic warfare or something like that, nuclear. And so the plan for the Dracos and they were in full support of this, is that would enable them to come above ground. And now we've got these creatures walking around, and also the tall whites would be able to reveal who they are, and they're, we're here again, we're preyed upon because they're cannibals.
Right. They love human flesh. They'll eat each
Right.
other.
And that was the future that I saw that was going to happen if we didn't stop what was happening. That was the future that I saw, is this cannibalistic kind of thing. So we're talking about traumas, very serious traumas on humanity. And so we're shifting out of that, and all these people that are promoting, this big solar event, this is going to happen, or that's anything that's related to apocalyptic stuff. And, they want it to happen so bad that I almost think that they would actually send an intention just so they can proclaim that they were right. And, all of those things, I know that some...
The solar flash that's supposed to...
Yeah, that... Say it again?
There's supposed to be a major solar flash, or not solar, but flash that's going to come to us from the central sun to increase all of our consciousness and help us to ascend.
Well, there's that, which I think is also disinformation. And I know people are going to get angry at this, but they're trying to create an event, and on one spectrum you're hearing, well, this solar flash is going to come and it's going to raise your consciousness, and then the other one is it's going to come, it's going to knock out all technology, it's going to just we're going to be in an apocalyptic situation,
right.
And then the good people get to leave in the spaceships.
Yeah.
And I'm not making fun of anyone. I know that they're like deliberately manipulating people. There's these messengers, these people that are coming in and saying that they have the truth, they have the answer, and it ends up creating fear. It ends up having the collective coming to an agreement and expectation of these events, which is manifesting and opening the door for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm suggesting that you get away from that. I know that not everyone's going to listen. If anything, some people are going to be angry at me for it. And some people, want to see a destruction. They say that they don't, but they want to proclaim that they're right at any cost. That's dangerous to have that kind of ego, by the way.
What we want to see destroyed is all this this matrix that we've been put into, that of ignorance and scarcity and pain and suffering and war and all this stuff. We want that gone.
Right.
No, you do too. I mean,
absolutely. This, if there's anything that I have wanted, by doing some of my shows and bringing information, it's just for people to become liberated. I know that I have been astrally attacked, and I have been threatened and warned and, told I shouldn't be talking about certain stuff. I've had people have been activated, they don't even know that they're used, have come against me, accusing me of being in certain factions or doing this and that. And the thing that I ultimately want is just for people to wake up. And I don't want anything else. I don't need to be in a podium somewhere in front of everyone or at a big conference center or whatever. And I would love to meet a lot of the people that listen. I would love that. But I think ultimately what I want is people just to wake up, to remember who they are. Not everyone's going to remember, but if we can get the critical mass to wake up to what they've already been through, what they need to remember in this lifetime, why we are here. Remember also these overlays, our abilities,
our power are, and people are so powerless, and
I know
they thought that they're powerless, and they believe it.
And the freedom to take care of ourselves, to be able to use natural remedies, to not not be bound to all these poisons that
Right.
we're told that we have to take, that we can have a clean environment. These are the things that I would love to see happen.
I mean,
That
why sick is because of all the poison in the environment and in the food and in the water
right, and
and, and in our mind control. We're
the
taught
mind
that.
control, that we get our children back, that they stop trying to take our children and our generations, or trying to cut off our genetics so that we can't humans can't thrive in the future. That they're taken away and used. It ends the civilization of humanity. We're replaced by robots. I mean, whatever these weird, bizarre agendas that people think are just like made up, they're not. And we're trying. All we want is just a simple experience. We want equality as far as no more slave system financially, and that everyone has the right to live and thrive on the planet. And this fear about the population needs to go. I want the truth to come out. I just want the truth of everything. And I say that 99% of the people that are involved in the truther movement, and even those that are still not quite awake yet, I think some people are going to wake up and just going to really become very vocal, and as they should, because I think we need to get this information out there. We need to wake up all of these people that are being led to the slaughter in this process. So, I mean, if I wish anything, it's that. And if and when, I say when, because I'm not going to say if, and when everyone wakes up, then I'm going to be happy. And I'll be satisfied. I'll go off and live my life, and everything will be fine. And their lives will be fine. And then I'll be content that there's a future for our children and our children's children and so forth. But until then, I want them all off the planet who don't belong here.
Right.
And I will work with whoever I need to make sure that happens. And if people feel that I'm getting in the way and getting rid of their demons that they love so much, then they can go with them.
Right.
They can go with them, and whatever. But I think I'm here to help with humanity. This is their birthright to be here, and no one else, other than the species, the animal species, the plant species, and so forth. Even the insect species that are supposed to be here right now.
Yeah, I'm with.
So you agree?
Yeah,
Jimmy?
I'm sick of being manipulated and seeing others manipulated, and they have no idea about it. But I have some understanding of it. And most people, I walk into the bar up there to get something to eat, and everybody's just in their little bliss of the way things have always been, and they accept it, and it's almost like they're comfortable with it.
It's
like
sad. It's like they're sort of asleep. They're not aware of it, and to wake some of these people up is really startling them. And
there's a lady at Tim Hortons that had some kind of lump in her breast, and she mentioned it to me, and I told her, well, I'm going to send you some healing for that. And she accepted it, embraced it, and added her own healing to it, because she wanted to get rid of that. I mean, it was scary for her. Well, she went in, had a scheduled appointment to have them remove it, and went in there, and they didn't find anything.
Right.
It was gone. And I had another one at the bar that asked me for a healing, and she wouldn't tell me what it was that she needed healing, so I just gave her a full body, and but I am running into people that don't just think I'm nuts and laugh me off or make fun of me and stuff. So there is some awareness coming about. It's not widespread or anything yet that I can see, but it's not just a blanket. People just dismissing me. You know what I mean? And I don't hesitate. I come out with it. If somebody has something wrong with them, I don't hesitate to tell them I'm sending them healing energy. And for the most part, they like that. They like the sound of that. It's better than when they go to the doctor and he says, just take this shit for the rest of your life. you'll never be cured, but or healed, but just keep taking this poison.
Right.
Yeah,
And then there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when we're reaching out to try to help people, they don't know any better. And even if they do reject it, it's out of fear.
yeah,
They've been told to fear everything.
yes. And look
But when
outside.
you're at a point when you're really sick and you have no other place to go, well, you need to find an alternative because you understand that the way that things are set up, they're not here to allow us to thrive.
And it makes so much sense that we're taught to do the exact thing that disempowers us from our own power. You know what I mean? If you're looking to someone else to do this for you, then you, of course, don't think you have the ability to do it yourself.
We're told that we don't have the ability to do anything.
And it's all over TV and radio and everyone you talk to out there, telling you, oh well, ask your doctor for this and go to your doctor for that, and take this and ask him if you can, get on this shit. I mean, it's just constant, and it's the same with spirit. You look outside yourself, you pray to heaven for help. Anytime someone's sick, oh, prayer's going up. What? Huh?
Yeah.
It's just a big misunderstanding. Okay, well, what's up with our friend Saint Germain? Is he available?
Let's see if he's around. All right, so because I sent you a bottle, Saint Germain.
Yeah.
How did you feel from?
Well, I felt honored that that letter that you sent with it, that came from him, huh?
Yeah, it came from him. Actually, it started with James Rink.
Mm-hmm.
And because James Rink has a very close connection to Saint Germain.
And I think I do too. I must.
Yeah.
Because, he told you to send me one too, right?
He told me to send one to you and to a few other people.
So I do have.
There were other people that I would have sent it, but they don't like the alcohol content. So then they got elixirs or other types of herbal remedies, and tinctures, and I actually found a soda with elderflower. The elderflower in it, and I used that when I was traveling. I happened to go into a Whole Foods when I was in California and found one of those a drink that had some elderflower in it, and so particularly when I was in LA, I thought that was a good thing to be taking, right?
Right.
So I did, and when I was ready to leave, I gave it to one of my friends. And
so has he verified that did actually help you in that area with the infected blood?
Yeah. It did. I did it I took Saint Germain's for about, it had to have been over a month. I went through it. Was a combination of me and a friend. We went through about a couple bottles, I'll say.
Not all at once. Over a month.
Not all at once. No, it was every day taking the prescribed shot of it. To what this does was Saint Germain told us that it is necessary to clear from this infection of the blood.
Right.
And I know that people say, well, I didn't have any vampire type of energy, but I think what happened even in the my labs and just because a lot of these beings are out and running around posing as humans.
And it might even be in some food you ate.
It could have been, yeah. So
it takes a couple drops or just a small amount.
I know people get offended if you say, oh yeah, you're affected by vampires. Well, what does that mean, And also our society at this point is like glamorizing vampires as if they're hot and attractive, and
yeah.
And I think they look like creepy as hell.
Right.
And just like it's not sexy to be a vampire. Someone needs to get over that.
Well, I was very that was an honor to me to be chosen for that, and I haven't really noticed any change to speak of that I've noticed, But I am concerned if that is still with me, or has it been taken care of, or do I need to keep drinking some of that? Maybe get another bottle of it and go through that, or what is the Saint Germain recommend for that for me?
It looks like Saint Germain just handed you something.
He did? Well, okay.
Yeah.
What is it? Thank you.
And it looked like a cup of some sort, or circular, like a goblet.
So that means he wants me to keep drinking it.
Has some other like herbal. It's like an herbal tincture.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Count Saint Germain.
He says you can use it when you're working with helping people with their healing abilities. It's kind of a combination of herbs.
Is it like in the etheric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in like kind of a goblet, and it looked like, well, one herb that I recognized was thyme was in there, but maybe it's also symbolic of time, going through time, space, and healing. You never know with these guys. Sometimes they're literal, sometimes they're figurative.
Well, do I just I wouldn't know how to use that in the 3D, so can you fill me in on how I would use that to help people with their healing?
He said it would come back to your memories. He said you were with a cloister of monks that he visited.
Oh, okay.
It might have been when he was Count Saint Germain.
Well, he was. I forgot the name that I was trying to think of for William Shakespeare, but he was Francis Bacon, I believe. Is that true, Saint Germain? One of his incarnations.
Yeah, he said amongst others.
Yes, and that's the one that did the William Shakespeare writings, but he put it under the fake name of William Shakespeare. It was really Francis Bacon. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. I couldn't think of that name when it came up before, but I guess that was true.
Okay, so I guess supposedly he was born in 1691 or 1712. That's what they're not quite sure when he was born.
Well, different incarnations.
Yeah, the first one, and he died supposedly in the February 27, 1784, and was a European adventurer with an interest in science, alchemy, and the arts. Let's see. One of the greatest philosophers who ever lived, Saint Germain, used a variety of names and titles. This includes the Marquis de Montferrat, Comte Bellemare, Chevalier, Schoening, and Count Weldon.
And he was Count Saint Germain in was it, Louisiana, New Orleans. I know he was over here around the signing of our Constitution.
It's funny, he says Voltaire sarcastically dubbed him the Wonder Man.
Was he also Joseph, Jesus's stepfather?
I don't think so. People have said that, but I don't think so.
Ask him.
No.
Okay. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's another one I've heard.
So I guess at that first incarnation, he knew you.
Huh. Nice to reacquaint. And I say, I went through a time where I was speaking to him every day and everything, and of course, I didn't really know that I was talking to him, but I was intending to.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that Voltaire was connected to him, and Voltaire showed up and was talking to me when James Rink was asking for he wanted to talk to Saint Germain, and Voltaire showed up, and he's like, well, why am I talking to Voltaire right now?
Uh-huh.
And they said, I don't know. I said, were they around the same time? And so that we had to look it up. So, they know this stuff more than I do. It's not stuff that I learned, but the things that are coming through.
Was he Merlin too?
Yeah.
I think
No.
I heard that.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, he gets confused with a lot of different people. He has abilities like Merlin. I mean, there were more than one coming from the mystery schools, but Merlin's, I think, is Simon.
Yeah, that's why I asked about it though, because of their abilities seem, and I did hear that he was possibly him too.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be able to speak to him and get it right from him,
Mhm.
because he should know.
Yeah, definitely.
And did I guess he's saying that bottle that I drank was good, that it took care of the problem, or I didn't really get a definitive answer on that yet.
Yeah, he said before the year is over, he wants you to do it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll kind of feel it. It's just going to cover you for right now, but then there's a wave of them that were removed, but there's going to be a few more waves of them, and then you're going to feel it energetically.
What are we talking about?
Like the vampire,
Oh,
the Yanchar energy, yeah.
and the probably some more of these Aquilans that we took care of today, and these Gorgons and.
Yeah, though those won't really affect you in the same way as it's a deep infection to the blood. It actually alters the blood.
Mm. Oh yeah, I want to take care of that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Saint Germain. I really appreciate what you've done to help Jess and me and the planet, and with your Saint Germain trust, which I'm expecting to see very soon. Is that true, Saint Germain? Are we going to have that Saint Germain trust you've been holding on to all these years?
He said he doesn't so much have control over the money at this time.
We're ready for it.
Yeah, maybe it will be released.
Supposedly it's a 1 with 50-some zeros or something.
Yeah,
Enough.
he said that, in order for humans, he says if all the humans got all their money back tomorrow, he said it would be taken back by Friday.
Well, yeah, that's because the evil ones are still here.
Right. So I think we still have to do some housekeeping.
Well, we got rid of a bunch of them today.
And by the way, for those listening, this is a Tuesday. So get it back on a Wednesday and take it again on Friday. They need a couple days, I guess.
Well, we got rid of a bunch of them today.
It takes us thousands of years, but they need a couple days.
We're still working on getting rid of them. I mean, I know that they're everywhere. They're just filthy on this planet, but we're getting rid of them. I mean, as things come up, we clear it. We clear them out, take them out. Andronicus did some great work for us today.
He did.
And that was, oh man, that was so great. I so appreciate him too. Jeez. Is there anything else you need to tell me, Jess, or anyone else wants to leave me with anything, or some advice or encouragement?
So Saint Germain said, keep up the faith, even though they told you that you couldn't do certain things. He said, I'm happy to see that you've stayed true to yourself. He said, there's brighter days ahead, my friend.
And I know it. I don't believe it. I know it.
He said, I always appreciated your optimism in the darkest and most dreary of monasteries. He said, but you always had, a sparkle in your eye, a cheerful laugh. He said, and when I could, I'd give you a little bit extra food rations without them saying anything. He says, and you never told on me when you
Well,
saw me doing strange things. He said he appreciated that.
oh, I would never do that.
He said, and he gave you some wine,
Okay.
some interesting, some very expensive wine. It was not expensive because it was old, but because of where it was from. He said
Right.
he had some wine from the Hollow Earth.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they drank down there.
Yeah.
Zora.
So,
Wow, that's beautiful.
and he said your mate is waiting for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is she waiting? I would like to see her.
He said not far.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he just said.
And when is this going to happen?
He said keep doing the work and it will just happen naturally.
Oh, okay. Well, in this lifetime, I've never met her, and never had anyone that I would call any kind of soulmate or twin flame or anything like that. So that would be great.
He said you're going to be meeting more friends and family.
Yes. He said I was going to be needing or meeting.
Meeting more friends and family.
Meeting. Okay. Well, you're one of my friends and family also, Saint Germain. So, it's good to talk to you, actually be able to speak to you and have you answer back. And wow, that's great.
He says very nice to see you too.
I so appreciate the work you're doing for us and for me and for Jess. I can speak for all of us. We so much appreciate you.
He smiled. He says, tell him I must depart.
All right. He doesn't mind me calling him Count Saint Germain, does he?
No.
That's the way he signed this letter. So I didn't know if that referred to his time when he was drinking that stuff, So I didn't want to call him something that he didn't appreciate. So, okay.
All
Cheers.
right.
Cheers. And what about this wine now? He said he gave that to me, or is that when I was a monk he gave me
When
some?
you were a monk, he
Okay.
gave some of that to you.
Oh. Well, I still drink a little wine. So but nothing else except for Saint Germain now. I do drink some of that now.
Yeah, you can probably can order it locally.
You think Amazon or something?
You can check your local liquor store.
Well, I will, but I wouldn't expect they would have it there. You already looked on
Yeah, that's where I got it.
What?
I got it locally.
Oh, well, I know, but see, when you checked online for me for my area, you were saying it was like there was some in Dearborn, which isn't that far away, but it's not walking distance. And I don't have a whole lot of liquor stores around here, just one that I can think of.
Sometimes you can go into the liquor store and you can ask them if they can get it from another store or something like that.
Yeah. Or they could just order it from their distributor, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do
Or
that.
you can have it shipped in from that other store.
Yeah, that one in Dearborn.
Mm-hmm. Everything's going to come together.
Yeah, and that's good to know. It's encouraging because I have been getting a bit discouraged just because it gets discouraging being just me, and day after day after day after day. I mean, you have the same thing, right? You have friends and stuff and a car, but
well, everyone has their challenges. I mean, believe me, I have to manage a lot of different things. So whatever energy I have goes into helping others.
Wow, I am. You have been so important to me. This past, I think it was July when we first started talking, Jess. So it's coming up on a year. It's all it's been that we've been speaking and having sessions, and just look at all the good work we've done.
Some amazing stuff has come up, and I'm glad that like you're for some reason that they've selected your sessions to be the ones that go into a show, and it doesn't happen with everyone.
So that wasn't you that did that? That
That
selected
they
that?
they made that decision, yeah.
Oh, so I guess I could start calling. I already do anyway. Your guides are my guides, yes. Because
Yep.
we put together, and I know you're not one of them that goes, oh no, they're mine, they're not yours. Like it's some kind of possession or something.
No,
Uh,
no, I don't do that at all.
they're working with both of us and many of us and oh wow, that's so great.